A bride whose deepest secret starts leaking on her wedding day. Would you stay or run? In a land surrounded by hills, the color of bronze and rivers that flowed like silver ribbons, lived a peculiar village called Umuahianta. The village was peaceful, blessed with fertile soil and generous skies, yet it held one unusual belief. In Umuahianta, beauty was measured only by size. The thicker a woman was, the more the men worshipped the ground she walked on. Slim ladies, no matter their kindness or grace, were treated like wind, seen, but never valued. Thick ladies in the village lived like queens. They walked with pride, receiving greetings, gifts, and endless admiration. They fetched no water, carried no firewood, and cooked only when they felt like it. The men handled everything for them and competed for their affection. Whenever the village had events, the thick ladies sat in front, dressed in the best wrappers, dripping in beads and powders, laughing loudly as though the whole world belonged to them. The slim ladies, on the other hand, bore the weight of the village's duties. They fetched water, chopped wood, and farmed until their palms darkened and hardened. In the evenings, they gathered together under an old mango tree for comfort and sisterhood. They formed their own association, supporting one another since the rest of the village ignored them. Their leader was a young woman named Edora. She was slim like a well-worn flute, graceful and confident. Edora always reminded the others, "Your body is not a mistake. Your beauty is not measured by curves but by your heart and your strength." Her words kept their hope alive even when the village mocked them. But one season, envy crept into Adora's heart like a silent thief. After watching thick ladies being chosen for marriage again and again, receiving gifts and praises, she began to feel tired of encouraging others while she herself remained unnoticed. Whispers of insecurity filled her mind. One night, she made a decision she shared with no one. She would travel to the city to undergo a body enhancement. She told her association she was visiting a relative. They hugged her and wished her well. None suspected the truth. Edora traveled for months and finally visited a doctor, an unskilled one, recommended by a stranger in the city. She paid him all the money she had saved over years. The procedure gave her the appearance she desired, bigger curves, fuller features, and a shape that made her hardly recognizable. When she returned to the village, the men gasped. Thick ladies stared in shock. Slim ladies couldn't believe their eyes. Edora had transformed. Men, married and unmarried, flocked around her like bees around ripe fruit. They offered her gifts, sang her praises, helped her carry things, and recited poems of admiration. Some of the thick ladies hissed jealously, but even they couldn't deny that Edora now carried attention like a crown. Edora quickly caught the eye of Odigu, a wealthy, influential young man known for his fine clothing and numerous farmlands. He was captivated by her new form and wasted no time. He brought wine, cola, palm oil, and livestock to Adora's family to request her hand in marriage. Her parents, confused but excited, agreed. A date was fixed. Preparations began. Adora's traditional wedding was majestic. Drummers played till the clouds vibrated, dancers leapt like flames, the villagers wore their brightest attires, and the thick ladies watched in envy as Edora shone like the morning sun. She walked proudly, confident that her transformation had granted her everything she once lacked. But fate, like the wind, changes when least expected. While Edora danced joyfully in front of the crowd, something strange began to happen. A faint, unpleasant smell drifted from her wrapper, at first barely noticeable, then stronger, sharper, heavier. Drummers began exchanging looks. Guests shifted uncomfortably. The smell thickened in the air. People started whispering. Children covered their noses. Women stepped back. Even the thick ladies, who had once mocked the slim ones, stared in horror. Then, something worse happened. Her body enhancement began leaking. Her wrapper stained. The smell became unbearable, spreading through the arena like a curse. The crowd scattered. The joyful music suddenly became an alarming noise. Odigu, her groom, froze in shock. He took one step back, then two, then turned around without a word. Before anyone could stop him, he left the celebration, he went into his car and drove off, and disappeared. Within an hour, he sent a message: the wedding was over. The relationship was done. Edeora collapsed in shame. Villagers talked for days. Some laughed. Some pitied her. Some used her as a warning tale. Humiliated, Edeora returned to the city to confront the doctor. He apologized weakly and explained that undoing the procedure would be painful and slow. Edeora had no choice. She endured months of treatment, living with a smell that chased people away and made her hide indoors. She cried through long nights, wishing she had remained herself. Finally, after endless weeks of pain and patience, her original form returned. She gazed at herself in the mirror, slim again, natural again. The smell was gone. Edeora returned to the village quietly. Her slim friends ran to her with open arms, forgiving and embracing her. They reminded her that love without self-acceptance is like a fire without warmth, useless and dangerous. The villagers still mocked her. They made snide remarks. Some laughed secretly. Others avoided her path. Edeora bore it calmly, her shoulders steady, her heart humbled. Then, one day, fate arrived like a gentle miracle. A handsome, well-traveled young man named Chokuma visited Umwahianta. He came for trade but found something unexpected: the beauty of Neka, one of the slim girls. She had always been kind, hardworking, and radiant in a quiet way that people often overlooked. But Chokuma saw her differently. She captivated him instantly. He returned to his city, gathered his people, and came back with gifts and elders to seek Neka's hand in marriage. Excitement filled the air. The slim ladies danced around her in celebration. For her bridal team, Neka chose her slim friends, including Edeora. During the wedding ceremony, the guests from Chokuma's city noticed the slim lady's grace, charm, and elegance. They admired their confidence. They admired their beauty. They admired the very features the village had once ignored. Several men requested introductions. Numbers were exchanged. Smiles blossomed. Friendships formed. Edeora herself caught the attention of a kind-hearted young man based in the United States. He was drawn to her gentleness and sincerity, not her size, not her shape, not her curves, but her story and her heart. Weeks later, after courting and understanding one another, he returned with his family to ask for her hand. At the same time, the other men who admired the remaining slim girls also prepared for marriage. The village buzzed with joy as they arranged a mass traditional wedding, honoring all the couples at once. It was grand, colorful, and unforgettable. Drums echoed. Happiness danced through the air. The slim lady stood tall, proud, and valued at last. When the ceremonies ended, the groom from the United States traveled back with Eudora, while the others returned to their various homes with their brides. The village realized, too late, that beauty had never been about size, only perception. Eudora's story became a reminder passed from mouth to mouth, generation to generation. Lesson learned. True beauty is not found in what you add to yourself, but in the parts of you that remain when everything else is removed. When you value who you are, the world eventually learns to value you too. Envy invites regret, but self-acceptance attracts the blessings meant for you. Authenticity will always outshine imitation, and those who wait for the right love will never need to change themselves to earn it. If you watched this story from beginning to the end, please like, comment and share. Stay tuned for more stories like this. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas to everyone here. Wishing you a Happy New Year in advance.
On Christmas Day.